Good morning from Cairo, Egypt. Today we are venturing out and doing a DIY Egyptian food tour with the help of our Airbnb host Ashraf, and our very first stop is going to be a local bakery. Made it back after a morning of walking around town and just weaving through the traffic, dodging cars, and picking up some really good food. We decided to bring everything back here just because filming isn't a norm here in Egypt, and we want to be respectful of that, so we're going to be filming in the comfort of our Airbnb. The very first thing that we got are some popular street food items, but we got them in sandwich form. First sandwich filling we got is tamea, which is kind of like the Egyptian version of falafel. But it is not made out of chickpeas and it's not very spherical. Instead, it's kind of like a crispy flat disc, and it's made with fava beans and also parsley. So you can kind of see it's green on the inside. And the second thing we got in our sandwich is foul, and this is a mashed fava bean paste that's mixed with garlic and olive oil, all the good stuff. And it's usually eaten with pita bread. Alrighty, Chad's got the one with tamea. I've got the one with foul.
Cheers.
Cheers. The foul is really reminding me of refried beans.
Mine really reminds me of a garden. Like, it's just so refreshing, and when you take a bite, it's like a breath of fresh air. Parsley, that's what it is. I can taste the parsley in it, and it's so nice.
After picking up our sandwiches, we headed over to a very famous bakery here and picked up this massive platter of all sorts of pastries, and the very first thing that we got is Kunafa, and this is a cake made out of semolina noodles, which is very similar to angel hair noodles, and those are rolled and flattened and cooked with butter and creamy cheese over low heat, although I did get the one without the cheese just because we're eating a lot of different foods today, and cheese doesn't always sit well with my stomach. So the cheese-free Kunafa. First thing, it is very, very moist. And the second thing, it's not too sweet, which is my favorite kind of dessert. So on the top and the bottom, you've got the noodles, which I just realized, and it kind of looks like coconut, and it kind of feels like coconut as well in texture. And then in the middle, you've got that delicious cream. I could eat many of them, and I'm glad I picked a lot of them up. The next thing that we picked up is Babousa, and this is of Ottoman origin. The Egyptian version is usually very thin, and I can see that it is a rather short cake. It is a semolina cake that is soaked in sweet syrup and soft inside. This one is a little bit sweeter than the kunafa. Oh.
Kind of sticks to your teeth, like a caramel.
And the third thing we got is baklava because I saw the bakery had it and it looked really good. If you don't know what baklava is, it is syrup-drenched, nut-filled pastries.
They're so cute.
Yeah, they are very cute. They kind of look like a flower.
The next thing on the agenda today, we are actually joining our Airbnb host Ashraf on his land. He actually owns this small plot of land where he has a farmer that works on it, and what they're going to do is cook us a traditional Egyptian meal. So it's a very special experience that we get to have, and I'm very excited for it.
It's all cabbage, leaves, roll it with rice inside. This bread, I love to eat it like biscuit.
What's it called?
Bread.
The farmer here wants to show me the beans. Wow. Wow, amazing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We have just made it to Ashraf's land, and this is such a gloriously golden piece of land. It's so beautiful. I'm surrounded by so many different plants, and I actually just picked one of his fresh fava beans. So this is the exact same thing that we just ate in the tamea this morning. And if I break it open and I squeeze, a bean comes out. And I just picked it from that plant right there. Mmm. Very good. So we are now having a late lunch with wonderful company, and they're making some chicken as well as Mahshi, which is a traditional dish. They're having it with cabbage wrapped on the outside, and then inside there's some rice, and it smells amazing. They also brought over what they call bread, and it kind of looks like a whole wheat cracker, and it tastes like one as well. So very crunchy. We are being treated like family here.
Here in Egypt, we eat our without hands.
lunch was so incredible. It literally melts in your mouth. But
Yeah.
now we're gonna use the well behind us to wash our hands. Thank you, thank you.
Oh! Wow.
Mohammed, which is Ashraf's, I'd say, assistant, just came over and handed us a piece of chocolate. We are leaving now. Such a fun time. Bye, thank you.
We just made it back to our Airbnb, and what an absolute pleasure it was to go with Ashraf and all these wonderful people out to his land and enjoy a home-cooked Egyptian meal.
Yeah, it was seriously such an honor to sit with them all and hear. His father is 92 years old and he sat with us. He used to be a history professor here in Cairo, and he just has so many stories, so much laughter around that table.
Yeah.
And I just feel really lucky, as I always say, to be here.
Not only did Ashraf provide that amazing experience, but he's also been coordinating our entire trip here in Egypt out of the kindness of his heart. And I just wanted to say a huge thank you to him, but also, like, if you are looking for a really authentic time here in Egypt, I can't recommend Ashraf enough. He's made everything so easy and so convenient. And honestly, our trip here has been an absolute breeze because of him.
So we will link below the Airbnb that we stayed at, which will include Ashraf's amazing support. So if you do want to book here and stay here, you're welcome to do that.
And with that, we'll end it with a nice little sunset, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Look at our spectacular afternoon meal! Ashraf helped us order a lot of the things on my foods to try list, and we are about to have a massive feast. So today we're going to sit on the ground and eat with our hands, just like how we did on Ashraf's land yesterday. It's apparently how the Egyptians do it. And I think I'm gonna start with the meat because it's looking really, really good. So the very first thing we ordered is kebab and kofta. So here is kebab, which is flame grilled chunks of lamb. And then here is kofta, which is spiced minced meat made into a sausage and then grilled on a skewer. And these are often eaten with a chopped tomato, onion, and cucumber salad, which we have here. Also with some flatbread, which we also have. All right. Which meat? I believe this is parsley that's just coating all of the meat. Lamb is one of my favorite meats of all time, and this is perfectly seasoned, perfectly salted, and it's absolutely delicious. Now let me try the kofta. You can see a little hole where their skewer was. I guess you need to eat it with the salad and the bread for the full experience, huh? I love how their bread is completely airy on the inside, like you can open it right up. And I believe that's how our sandwiches yesterday were made. They were just stuffed inside the pocket of the bread. And then the salad, it tastes like the Shirazi salad that I used to make for us in the van. And now we're eating it in a different country. All right, next thing.
Is that a baked potato?
The next thing I'm about to try is probably the equivalent to what the guinea pig is in Peru. This here is Hamaam, or also known as pigeon, and this is a big delicacy here in Egypt. While we've been here so far, we've seen these pigeon towers, and the pigeons would kind of just fly around the tower before going back, I guess, for exercise. So here we have a nice juicy pigeon, and inside it is stuffed with seasoned rice before it is grilled or baked. First time trying pigeon, let's see how it tastes. Whoa. It's kind of like how you stuff the Thanksgiving turkey with stuffing. I guess they stuff it with rice. I didn't get much of the pigeon meat, but the rice inside reminds me very much of the sticky rice. Not that it is sticky, but the seasoning that they put on it is very similar to that. Now let me get the meat. If I were to compare it to any meat that I have had, I'd compare it to duck. And the funny thing is, the other night, I was talking to Ashraf, and I was like, I would love to try Hamaam. He was saying like, oh my gosh, it's so good. And I was like, oh, is it very similar to quail? Because I thought that's another small bird that is commonly eaten around the world. And he's like, oh, no. It tastes like a dove. And I'm like, oh, I also haven't eaten a dove before, but now I know what both a pigeon and a dove would taste like. This is one of those foods that Chad also has to try on camera.
Yes.
All right, this is just like the skin and the rice.
It really is like the sticky rice that you described it as.
Yeah, I will say, because it's a smaller bird, there isn't much meat. Maybe that's why they stuff it with rice.
Wow, it does just taste just like duck. Exactly as you said.
Yeah, it is a little bit peppery because I can see lots and lots of
There's
pepper.
a lot of spices.
Yeah. Next up, we have 2 small containers of baba ganoush, and this is said to be from Lebanon, but is very commonly eaten all over Egypt. And this is a smoky cream of roasted eggplant, garlic, olive oil, lemon, and tahini. And this is often eaten with pita bread, and it's kind of got like the texture of hummus. This tastes extremely rich, and once you're kind of like done eating and you swallowed it, there's this very potent flavor. It's a little bit spicy in the back of my tongue, but it is really, really good. The next thing I have here is Mulukhiyah, and I'm probably pronouncing that completely wrong, but I did try my best. So this is a thick green soup, and it is made out of mallow leaves. I don't know if you saw that, but when I slurped up my soup, there was actually like some strings of goo, I guess, attaching my lips to the spoon. I'd say if okra became a soup, this is what it would be. Very slimy, very thick, and it kind of just like slithers right down your throat. The final thing we have here is koshari, and this is a very interesting mix of ingredients. So we've got some rice, some brown lentils, and some macaroni, and it is topped with some fried onions and a spicy tomato sauce. A combination I've never heard of before. Very savory dish that I'm sure is extremely, extremely filling. If I were, you know, having a lazy night in, this is probably what I'd call for. All right, I think that's about it. We also have some eggplants here, but I think we can begin the feast. It's like a kimchi eggplant.
I bet they normally don't order this much of a variety.
Yeah, I mean, we're really picking out today. My first impressions of Egyptian food, and something I truly believe they deserve a reward for, is that nothing we've tasted is bland whatsoever. Everything is bursting with flavor, and honestly, Egyptian cuisine deserves a round of applause for that.
And one of my first impressions of Egyptian cuisine is each dish has its own, obviously, its own flavor, but it feels like it has its own history from the people that make it to how long the dish has been around. And it kind of reflects on Egypt as a country. It's such an amazing country with such a rich history, and it reflects in the food for sure.
And so with that, we are going to spend the next few hours digesting all the amazing food we've tried over the past 2 days. And if you would like to watch us eat more Egyptian food as we travel around the country, hit subscribe. And with that, we'll see you guys next time. Bye!